Welcome back to Healthy Steps Seniors. I'm Dr. Christopher Wilson. Throughout my career, there have been two patients I will never forget, Mr. Robert and Mrs. Susan. They didn't know each other, but they shared a secret struggle, a battle that took place every night after the rest of the world had fallen asleep. Their legs would suddenly become the enemy, stealing their peace. For Mr. Robert, a still very robust 76-year-old man, the enemy appeared abruptly in the middle of the night. It was a sudden, violent contraction, a searing squeeze in his calf, so intense it would jolt him awake, forcing him to frantically massage his leg in pain. The pain would eventually pass, but the anxiety that it would return continued to haunt him. For Mrs. Susan, 72, the nightly nightmare wore a completely different face. It wasn't a sharp pain, but a strange, indescribably uncomfortable sensation, as if thousands of ants were crawling deep inside her legs. A restlessness, an irresistible urge that forced her to constantly move, to stretch her legs, even to get out of bed and walk around in the dark, just to find a few moments of relief. The moment she lay still again, the feeling would return. When they came to see me, both of them used the same word to describe their problem: cramps. And this is the crucial point, because after listening and examining them carefully, I realized they were facing two completely different enemies, and being able to distinguish between them isn't just a matter of medical curiosity, it is the very key that unlocks the door to a good night's sleep. And before we become health investigators together, I want to emphasize that the information in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. It cannot replace a direct diagnosis or advice from your own doctor. Always consult a medical professional for your personal health condition. In today's video, we will clearly distinguish between common muscle cramps and a neurological disorder that, according to the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, may affect up to 1 in 10 adults, Restless Legs Syndrome, or RLS. Understanding the correct name for your problem will help you stop wasting time and effort on ineffective solutions. Let's begin this journey together to reclaim the peace in your legs and the wholeness of your sleep. So how can we, as health investigators, distinguish between these two conditions at home? To help you visualize this, let's put them in a showdown ring and compare them directly using 3 key criteria. In one corner, we have Mr. Robert's muscle cramp, and in the other corner, Mrs. Susan's nerve restlessness. The first and most important criterion, the feeling. Let's recall Mr. Robert's story. A cramp is a sudden, intense, and extremely painful muscle contraction. You can clearly feel and sometimes even see a muscle bunching up into a hard knot like a tightly twisted rope. It is a purely physical pain, localized to a specific spot in the calf, thigh, or foot. The pain is very real and very intense. In complete contrast, Mrs. Susan's sensation is not a muscle contraction. It comes from deep within, a feeling that is very difficult to describe in words. My patients often use terms like tingling, ants crawling, bubbling, or an electric current running through my leg. And what is the defining factor here? It's an overwhelming, irresistible urge to move. It's not necessarily painful, but an extreme internal discomfort that makes it impossible to sit still. This leads us to the second criterion, the relief. With the intense pain of a cramp, Mr. Robert found relief when he actively stretched his calf in the opposite direction or used his hands to massage the tightened muscle firmly. Applying direct action to the muscle helps it to release and relax, thereby easing the pain. What about Mrs. Susan? Massaging had almost no effect. Her only escape came from movement. Getting up and walking around, shaking her legs, stretching, any movement could temporarily soothe the uncomfortable sensation. But, and this is a very big but, this relief was very temporary. The moment she stopped moving and sat down or lay still, that restless feeling would return, like an unwelcome guest. And our final comparison criterion, the timing. This is a major difference. Muscle cramps can happen at any time. They might strike you at night, but they can also appear during the day, often after overexertion, dehydration, or sitting in one position for too long. Their timing is quite random. Meanwhile, Mrs. Susan's restless leg symptoms follow a very clear pattern. They only appear or become significantly worse in the evening and at night, especially when the body is at rest. During the day, she could be completely fine, but when night fell and she wanted to relax, that's when the enemy would reveal itself. So we have a clear picture. On one side, we have an intense muscle pain that is relieved by stretching and can occur at any time. On the other, we have an indescribable restless sensation with an urge to move, which is only relieved by movement and occurs primarily at night. If your experience is similar to Mr. Roberts' story, your problem might be related to muscles, hydration, and minerals. But if Mrs. Susan's story sounds all too familiar, then the enemy you're facing is much more complex. It's not in your legs. So where is it? Let's find out the real cause behind Restless Legs Syndrome. In the previous section, we reached an important conclusion. If you have symptoms like Mrs. Susan, the problem isn't in your legs. So where is it? The answer lies in your body's control center, your brain. Restless Leg Syndrome, as I've mentioned and as defined by the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, or NINDS, is a neurological disorder. This means your brain is having difficulty sending the correct messages to your legs, especially during times of rest. To understand this, let's use two simple metaphors. Imagine our brain has tiny factories. The job of these factories is to produce a critically important neurotransmitter called dopamine. Now, think of dopamine as a calm and reliable messenger. At night, when you want to rest, this messenger is responsible for carrying the messages "relax" and "rest now" to your legs. The issue is, to operate efficiently, these dopamine-producing factories need an essential fuel. That fuel is iron. In many people, especially older adults, the body's iron stores can be low without them even knowing it. When there isn't enough fuel, the factories run inefficiently. The messenger dopamine isn't produced sufficiently, or it doesn't function correctly. What's the result? The relax messages don't reach the legs. Instead, signal interference occurs, creating the strange sensations and the urge to move that we call RLS. And because RLS is rooted in iron and neurological issues, the first and most important step isn't to buy vitamins or supplements on your own. That step is to talk to your doctor. Your doctor will likely order a simple but extremely important blood test, a ferritin level test. Why ferritin and not a standard iron test? Because ferritin measures the amount of stored iron in your body. It tells you how much fuel you have in the tank. Your ferritin level can be low and cause symptoms, even if your circulating iron level, hemoglobin, is still normal. This is a detail that many studies, such as those published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine, have highlighted as critically important in the diagnosis and management of RLS. Additionally, it's important to know that RLS can sometimes accompany other health conditions common in older adults, such as chronic kidney disease or peripheral neuropathy from diabetes. That's why an open and comprehensive conversation with your doctor is indispensable. Knowing your ferritin level is like turning on the light in a dark room. It's not for fear, it's for information. It gives you and your doctor a clear starting point to build an effective plan, helping you win back control from this invisible enemy. Welcome back. After getting a clear diagnosis from your doctor, which is the most critical step, we can start building our own toolkit to manage the symptoms at home. These are not medical replacements, but powerful supportive habits. These are the simple yet effective strategies that helped both Mr. Robert and Mrs. Susan find their way back to peaceful sleep. The first tool in our kit is smart nutrition. For Mr. Robert and his cramps, we focused on two factors: hydration and the mineral magnesium. Smart hydration doesn't mean drinking a lot of water right before bed. It means sipping small amounts spread throughout the day so the body is always well hydrated. Regarding magnesium, the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, recognizes its essential role in regulating muscle and nerve function. Mr. Robert added magnesium-rich foods like a handful of almonds, spinach with his dinner, and sometimes a small piece of dark chocolate. If you are considering a magnesium supplement, talk to your doctor about easily absorbed forms like magnesium glycinate to ensure it's appropriate and safe for you. For Mrs. Susan and Restless Legs Syndrome, the nutrition story centered on iron, the fuel we discussed earlier. After getting her ferritin test results and her doctor's advice, she proactively added iron-rich foods to her diet, such as lean red meat, beans, lentils, and dark leafy greens. A little tip is to combine them with vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers, broccoli, or a small glass of orange juice to enhance iron absorption. And here I must give an extremely important warning. Please listen very carefully. Absolutely do not self-medicate with iron supplements without a confirmed diagnosis of iron deficiency and a clear directive from your doctor. Excess iron can be toxic and dangerous to the body. Always start with food and follow medical advice. The second tool is pre-sleep relaxation therapies. Both Mr. Robert and Mrs. Susan found that creating a relaxing pre-sleep ritual made a huge difference. One of the simplest therapies is soaking your feet in warm water for about 15 minutes. The warm water helps relax muscles and soothe the nervous system. You can add some Epsom salt, which is magnesium sulfate, for an added relaxing effect. After the foot soak, pat dry and gently massage your calves and feet. This gentle touch helps increase circulation and sends safety signals to the nervous system. The third tool is proper movement and stretching. A few simple stretches before bed can make a huge difference for both cramps and RLS. Try this exercise. Stand facing a wall about an arm's length away. Place both hands on the wall. Step 1 foot back, keeping your heel on the floor. Gently bend your front knee until you feel a moderate stretch in your back calf. Hold for 30 seconds without bouncing, then switch sides. Another exercise is to sit on the edge of a sturdy chair. Extend one leg straight out in front of you with your heel on the floor. Keep your back straight and slowly lean forward from your hips until you feel a stretch in the back of your thigh. Hold for 30 seconds, then switch legs. And here's a special note for those with symptoms like Mrs. Susan. A gentle evening walk can be very helpful. However, high-intensity exercises like running or heavy weightlifting too close to bedtime can actually make RLS symptoms worse. Listening to your body is key. So, we have completed an important investigative journey together. Let's take a moment to review the most essential things we've discovered today. First, we learned that the uncomfortable feeling in your legs at night isn't always a simple cramp. It could be a muscle issue, or it could be a signal from your nervous system. Second, clearly distinguishing between these two conditions based on the feeling, the relief, and the timing is the first step toward finding the right solution. Third, and I cannot stress this enough, if you suspect you have restless leg syndrome, talking with your doctor to get an accurate diagnosis is always the most important and safest course of action. And finally, we've equipped ourselves with a toolkit of practical habits involving nutrition, relaxation, and movement to proactively improve our quality of life. The journeys of Mr. Robert and Mrs. Susan show us a hopeful truth. No matter who the enemy that steals our sleep is, we are not helpless. By patiently listening to what our body is trying to tell us, by bravely seeking expert help, and by persistently applying good habits every day, we can absolutely regain control. A good night's sleep is not a luxury. It is the foundation for a clear mind tomorrow, a positive spirit, and a life full of joy. You absolutely deserve that. Now I want to hear from you. Is your experience more like Robert's story or Susan's? Please share briefly in the comments section below. And more importantly, share one small action you will try to apply this week after watching this video. Each of your shares is not only a commitment to your own health, but also a priceless source of encouragement for others in our Healthy Steps Seniors community. If this video was helpful, please hit like and share it with a loved one or a friend who you know is also struggling in silence every night. Your share could be the answer they are looking for. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on reliable medical knowledge and life wisdom that helps us all live healthier and happier lives. And to continue your journey of improving your sleep, I invite you to watch our next videos right here. Thank you for spending your time with Healthy Steps Seniors. Always walk steady and live a healthy life. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video.